Hey there, I'm going to show you how to change a socket for your headlight on a Chevy Trailblazer. And this is a 2004 Trailblazer, but the process is pretty much the same thing all the way to the newer ones too. So once you go, this one I bought at AutoZone for about $8. Just when you go to the store or look it up online, just make sure you got your year and you'll get the right one. Usually they use the same parts for quite a few years in a row, but the process is the same as far as changing it. So let me show you how to change it. Okay, and also this one I'm going to change the low beam, and the high beam is fine. The low beam, it kept going out every couple of weeks, so it took me about 2 or 3 times. I kept putting new bulbs in until I finally realized it wasn't the bulb, it was the socket, which the socket was actually melting. And you can tell how the socket is melting a little bit, and how it's corroded on the inside from just overheating. So I've got a new socket now, and I kept some of the old bulbs because they're perfectly good. So in order to get to it, and all you're going to need for tool-wise for this is a pair of wire cutters or wire snips. It can be needle nose, it doesn't matter. You don't need a razor knife, but I like it just for stripping some of the wire. A little bit of black electrical tape, and if you prefer, which I do, 2 small wire nuts. Okay, now, and your socket. So, first thing is to get the headlight out. And in order to do this, there are little tabs right here. You can see this. They just, I'll show you where they're located at. There's one here, and one in here. Then, there's actually 4. There's 2 for the other side as well, but we're only doing this side. So what you do is just pull this up so it pops up, and reach in. This one's a slight reach, but you can get it by hand. There you go. We pop the other one up. Now the headlight is loose, and it's also attached to this trim piece here. And this trim piece, you start by popping it off here at the top. Here, look at this. Started pulling it apart already, but these are popped in here. So, all you do is take your finger or a screwdriver, push the tab down if it's sticking out, and they just pop right out. And most of the time they just pull right out, especially on the older models. And these are a little harder to get to, so as long as you're gentle, because this is just plastic, you don't want to break it. So as you're taking it out, once you get the middle section loose here, and the tab's loose on this thing, on the front here there's a tab underneath here and a tab underneath right here. So just reach in and just gently pull it off. See? I just reached up, stuck my finger back there, there's 2 tabs, and I just pulled it right off. I did that, some of the other ones gave way too. Now if you happen to break 1 or 2 tabs, don't sweat it. You don't have to go buy a whole new front clip or anything. It's just these little tabs. You can usually, they're metal, and sometimes they rust, and you can usually just bend them back into place or do without 1 or 2 of them, and it's totally fine, trust me. So, and you don't have to do this part here, but I like coming to the other side and reaching in and popping this side off too. There we go. That way, the whole thing, you can just take it and just gently sit on the ground, out of your way. There you go. Sit on the ground out of the way so that you have room to work and you're not worried about breaking this part here, this little fragile piece. So now that you got this off, let me show you what the inside looks like here. See, this is where the tabs sticking out around here. Right there. Okay. Now that since you loosen these 2 up, this whole piece is loose. Now I'm doing this one-handed because I'm holding my phone to video it, so check it out. It just comes, you lift it up a little bit, and it comes right out. Just watch you don't pull on the wires, and that's it. The whole thing's out. Now I'm just going to lay it face down. Face down. On the back side, okay, there are covers over top of where the light bulbs are. If you've changed the light bulb, you've already seen these, but This one, the cover is missing, just because since the 2004, this is 2014, it's 10 years old, it's just kind of dry rotted and cracked a little bit, see like that, and so probably just fell off on the road somewhere, which is totally fine if it's not there. It's just an extra cover for dust and water, but you really don't even need it. So anyways, in fact, I'll put this over here on this one, just for now, or keep it there permanently. Okay. Now, depending on whoever installed the bulb the last time, the socket, the light bulb is a 90 degree, has a 90 degree socket on it, and you twist it counterclockwise or clockwise, depending on who put it in. You just got to wiggle and see which way they put it. This one goes counterclockwise, but it'll go in either way. So because it's not a screw, it's just push in and turn like quarter turn. So this was out, this bulb, but this bulb is perfectly good. I've metered it, and I wiggle the socket, and it actually comes on too. So I know it's a socket. Now let's see here if I can put the phone out, because I need two hands for this part. Oh, wait, let me see if I can do it one hand. There's a little tab on this socket right here that actually, let me see if I can get you a little better view here. A little clearer view. There we go. Okay. Because I changed the bulb like 2 or 3 times, and it's 10 years old, the little tab that's on the socket broke off, but that's totally fine. If it does that, it'll still hold, don't worry, okay? So now you just pull the socket. If it does have the tab on it, just lift up on the tab gently with your fingernail or a screwdriver, and then pull out as you lift on the tab. And look, watch, I'm going to do it one hand. You can do it 2 hands, but I can do it 1 hand. There we go. Yeah, I pulled it apart. So now here's the bulb. That's good, even though it wasn't working. And there's my the 2 pins, and you see this 90 degree. I'm just going to set that bulb right over here somewhere safe so I don't mess it up. And be careful, this is a halogen bulb, and you don't want to get your oil from your fingers on it, because that'll create a hot spot, causing the lamp to burn unevenly, shortening the life of your bulb. Anyways, and so here's the socket. So if you can examine it, you can see how it's clearly melted. Okay, just after 10 years in the car, you know, and on all the time, and well, you know, it overheated apparently and it melted, and in the inside, I'm sure we broke this apart, which I'm not going to waste your time, but I'm sure the terminal leads, the metal parts on the inside of the wire here, are all corroded, but we don't need to worry about that. So next thing is what you need to do. Comes the fun part. You just take the meat and potatoes of the video here. Just take it out of the package. And do it in 1 hand. You can do it 2. And I'm just gonna. You can read the back of the package, but it says, make sure you get the right bulb with it. Use with bulb number 9006. And it says around the bulb what bulb it is. And this bulb says, hey, 9006 Sylvania. I'm in business. Okay, which I knew it was already, because that's how I roll. Just kidding. Oh, I guess it is. Anyways, it's got a little wire on it. Take the little twist tie off. I guess it's technically not a bread tie since it's not on a loaf of bread, right? Okay. Anyways. Oh, and while you're sitting here checking out the video and doing this and learning how to do this, you should give me a like or give me a share or something. Help me out. Help the little guy out. I'm 6 foot tall, so I'm not really that little. And as you can see from my stomach, I'm not that little. But anyways, here's this one here, socket. It's not melted, brand new. It's got the tab on it. And here's the wires. These wires are a little thicker than the other wires, but that's okay. So I'm setting this down because I do need 2 hands for this. This part here, you can use your wire strippers, wire cutters. And if you use the wire cutters, don't cut the wire too much. But I'm going to use my razor knife because that's how I like to do it. And I just you cut off probably about 5/8 of an inch, 1/2 inch to 5/8 of an inch off, and just take it and just gently. I'm doing this pressing the wire, the the casing of the wire, the shielding, the outer wrap, the rubber or plastic part. Once you get it cut, you can see where you need to cut, and just make sure that it's cut all the way around. Very gently, don't cut yourself. And once you get it off, then just grab it with your fingernail, and pull the wire off. There you go. Okay. Now the extra piece, that's garbage. You just throw that in the garbage. And while the strands are all nice and pretty, just give them a little quick twist clockwise, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. There we go. That way they just stay together and they're all nice. Repeat the process on the next wire here. And hey, actually, look at this one. I'm too busy watching the video not look at the wire, but this one, I guess this is pre-cut already. So there you don't even need wire cutters. There you go. Just take this and get your fingernail in there and pull it off. If it's pre-cut with a slice, you don't even need the wire cutters or the razor knife. Once again, do your little twist clockwise, and the reason you're going clockwise is because if you use a wire nut, that's how you're going to put it on, and it's not going to unwrap the wire as you're putting them on. Okay, and then you come over here. Here's that. Set that down just for a second, just anywhere. Now, this is where you're really going to need this. You want a big pair of wire cutters. Okay. Come over here to the socket. It's got a red wire and a black wire. Now, it's just a regular light bulb. There's no ground wire. Just come over here and maybe an inch. Just cut the thing off. There you go. Cut it. See? Left an inch of wire on it. And over here, inside, this, like the area where the bulb goes in, there's about 3 inches of wire sticking out. 2 or 3 inches of wire. Just enough to where I can do the same stripping process with my razor knife or wire cutters, taking about 5/8 of an inch of the wire off. And I'm going to do that real quick. And as I'm doing that, you can watch here. Let's see if I can do it real close. This one, instead with a razor knife, I'll do with a pair of wire strippers. So when you put them in there, just get them in 5/8 of an inch down. Leave it sticking out 5/8 of an inch. And on this, just barely bite it. Hold the wire firmly on the bottom, and don't squeeze. You're just kind of almost like scoring the outer part of the wire, and then hold the bottom wire firmly and pull it off, like so. There you go. Okay. So now that you've pulled it off and then the wires are nice and smooth, just take it, once again, do clockwise, a couple twists on the wire. This wire looks like aluminum wires, but it's silver color, and the new socket color wire is copper color. That totally does not matter one bit. For that other red wire, I'm going to use the razor knife here again, and just barely cutting the casing or shielding of the wire, the outer wrap. If it's giving you resistance, just bend it a little bit and see where you need to cut. Just when you're doing this, just be careful not to cut the copper strands. If you happen to cut the copper strands or cut half of them out, you'd want to cut the wire off and start again. You don't want to lose any of that copper or the strands of wire, because that's how it conducts. And if you don't have the right amount of them, it will heat up on you, and you don't want a fire. So don't let that scare you, though, because if there's any doubt, there's plenty of wire here. Just cut it down again and try it, and just gently take it off. Might take you a couple times, but just relax. Anybody can do it. Now I've got it twisted. I've got this new socket. The wire's twisted, and if you notice, the new socket probably doesn't have a color code wire. This just has 2 black wires. Now, even though these are red and black on headlights, it doesn't matter which wire goes to which circuit. I promise you. Just pick one, and you will be fine. Okay? In fact, just close your eyes and put them together. They're fine. So now you put them next to each other like that, and then with your fingers, grab them both and turn clockwise until you see the wrap around the whole thing. Okay? And then, at this point, if you're just going to use electrical tape, I'll tell you what, I'll put one with electrical tape and one with a wire nut, that way you can see the both process. Since I have the wire nut in my hand, here's what I would do. Take this and put this on and twist it while I'm holding the bottom firmly until you can feel it bite on the wire, and then it's snug on there. Once you get the wire twisted on there, take a little bit of electrical tape, maybe about, what is that, about 5 inches, 4 inches, 3 inches? I'd say 4 inches. Okay. So then just take it, and electrical tape, as you're putting it on, after the first wrap, first time around, grab the wire and the nut and hold them firmly and stretch the tape as you're pulling it around. It's made of PVC plastic, and it will stretch. And stretch is just taking this. Very important, at the very last part of it, stretch it firmly and press down as you stretch the last part of it. That way it holds nice and tight. Okay? So there it is. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so there's one of them. And just do the same process with the other one. Okay, I'm going to be tempted to fast forward, so I'm going to be quick here. Here you go. Ready? Watch this. This one I'm going to do with the tape. Okay? So put them next to each other, just like I showed you. Now twist them. If you're going to do just the tape, do a few extra twists, maybe 5 or 6, 7 twists on it, just to be sure. And then, with your fingernail, hold it about halfway up. Grab it about halfway up right here and just bend it in half, like this. If you're going to get poked with your finger, if you press this way, you might get poked with the strands. And once you bend it in half, just squeeze it firmly like this, and give it another little twist like that. And if you happen to have the wire cutters, just grab them. Don't cut the wire, just squeeze them together a little bit like that. Make sure they're good. Now, this one here, you can see it's got 1 or 2, I call them angel hair wires. Okay? You don't want that, because that will create a little bit of a hot spot. So if you see just a couple little strands that are loose, just take them and bend them and squeeze them until it's like one firm piece. Okay? And if you need to twist a couple times more, so that they'll wrap all the way around. Up, see, got another angel here. Gotta do it. Keep doing it. There we go. That way you don't have any hot spots on the wire. The connection's gonna be solid and good, and your light will work great. Then take electrical tape, again, 4 or 5 inches. Now this piece, because you're not using the wire nut, grab it like this, and as you fold it over, pull it and kind of squeeze it in there so it wraps around. And this just, as you're wrapping around the whole thing, make sure you cover all the copper part, all the metal part that's bare. And go keep going around several times, and go down the wire just a little bit, so it kind of holds it together and pulling firmly on the tape, especially on the last little turn there. And there you go. Make sure there's nothing sticking out on the very top of the connection. See, there's no wire sticking out. There's a wire sticking out, covered up with a little tape. In fact, it looks like there, as you might see, it's not sticking out. See, but it's sticking, like the tape isn't closed all the way at the top. So if that happens, just take another little, just tiny piece of tape. Doesn't have to be very big. This one's a 1-inch piece of tape. 1-inch piece of tape, and then. So it's not sticking out, but it's, boy, am I getting that old? My fingers are wrinkly? I guess so. Okay. Alright, and then put it over there. I guess, I don't know how old 44 is, but that's how old I am. Okay, there you go. And so that's good. And if you want to go around the outside one more just to hold in place, you can. You don't need as much tape, and you don't have to. I like being thorough, so I usually put a little, you can't put too much electrical tape on there. You really can't, so it's a big old wad of tape. Don't even worry about it. So here's what we got. Lights hanging out of the car, little facade, trim piece on the front clip is laying on the floor. We got the new socket. Oh, we have the old socket I cut off and threw in the garbage already. The new socket came out of here. And notice there's a little more wire on it. That excess wire just tucked down up in there, and there's a little hook right here. So once you shove it all in, you can take some of the wire and just kind of hook it onto there, just to help you keep it in place, like that. See? I hope you can see that. This is what I'm talking about right here. This little hook. See, I've got the wire kind of hooked onto it. There you go. Okay, now here's the socket right there. Take your bulb, which I'm going to set this down for a second so I can show you with two hands. Although I could do it with one, but this side I'm going to break my tab again. So you just figure out which side has the tab and which side doesn't. And the tab goes on the side with the tab that's on the bulb. Just put it in there, and there's usually a little ring, or some of them don't have it, but this one does. Sylvania makes it. This is like a little rubber piece, which will give you a little resistance when you go to push it in. Put it in firmly until the tab clicks. If the tab's gone and broken, don't worry about it. There you go. And just get it in until the ring is all the way in, the rubber part, and that's it. Now, if you notice, the bulb has got a small tab and two big ones. Okay, and inside here, this thing has a small one and two big ones, so it can go in only one way, but when you get it in, you can usually rotate it clockwise or counterclockwise, and whichever you decide to do, that's fine. Just make sure that when you put it in, see if I can get a better shot here. It's good. And I'm going to have to just put the camera down just for a second, just to do this, because this socket is sticking out just a little further than my other one, so I'm going to kind of hold it over a little bit like this while I'm putting it in. So okay. Here, I'm gonna get you a video here to see. I'm gonna do it one-handed, just so I know I could get it there. There we go. I just pushed it in. I'm rotating. Rotating the light until it locks in. This time I'm turning clockwise. There we go, it's all locked in. Just make sure the wires are tucked in, hooked on that little hook, and the wire nut that's plastic, I'm tucking it way back, and just so as it heats up, you don't need to worry about it. And actually, as you can see, I missed with one of my tabs, so I'm just going to loosen it and redo it. There we go. So they're all on there. Oh, and there's screws here. You don't need to really take these screws out at all. Those are just the retaining ring. Okay. There we go. Okay, this part I've got to use two hands for, so hopefully I'm just doing as I showed you, so I'm just twisting it, but since it's off a little bigger, I just gotta push it over just a little bit. As I'm twisting, there we go. Okay, so now I got them all in. The wires are good. Careful with the continue wires. And I guess I'll take, since the other one was working fine without it, put my dust cover back on that side there. Then to repeat the process on the other one, if you want to change the other one, or if you need to, or on the other side, but you don't need to. This wire here is for your turn signal, and then this is your two masters here, which and your running lights too. So you don't need to worry about that. Anyways, so then to put it back together, just tip it back, and then you just line up. On the side of this tab, or rubber tab, these two go in these holes here. And on the other side, you got two going right here. So just line them up. One-handed, so make sure the wires are in. And as they're in, you just hold it firmly, usually with the other hand, but I use my knee, and then just push down on the tab on top. You can feel it lock in, and then do the same. This side, you got to kind of look down inside and kind of push firmly on. And I got to use my right hand. Yeah, I suppose I'm wrong here. Oh yeah, I stepped on my trim piece. Ah! Don't do that. There we go. So both sides are in, nice and firm. There we go. And then you just pick your, or take this moment before you put your last piece on. Get your tools out of here just a second, and pick up my garbage. I usually to keep a rag around here, and before you put it on, if you're into detailing, it's hard to get in the cracks, so maybe just give the inside a little quick wipe here, so it'll help you next time you wash your car. It'll be a little more detailed looking. There we go. And if you want to do the same thing on the trim piece, it can be hard to get into these little spots, so they're always clipped in. So there we go. I'm just gonna wipe it off. Just take a little 20 seconds. Okay. There we go. 20 seconds. Make it a little nicer. And then you just, I missed a spot right there. Okay, now I feel better. I can sleep better now. So it is 1 o'clock in the morning. Okay. So now that that's all nice and pretty and clean, you just take it and you bring it up here. Careful not to scratch your headlights. You just line it up. And I'm going to do it backwards from where I started. So I started, this was the last part that I took off on this side. So I look in there and clip that little in there. Line it up. Oh, this is a good example. This tab got bent up. Okay, when I was taking it out, see how it's bent up? So that tab, just grab with your fingers or a pair of pliers and squeeze it back in. There you go. So line it up. You kind of got to go at the same time. So I'm going to set this down and do these two together. Okay, let me see if I can put this down here. There you go, those two are in. Next, I'm coming to the top middle here and work your way across from one side to the other. It doesn't matter if it's passenger side or driver side first. Just line all these tabs up and start pushing them in. You got two little straight ones. These don't lock in here. These little tabs here, they just help you line it up. So you can squeeze and just line it properly. So you can hear the click as they're clicking in. This one didn't click in, but it's, so I have one that's loose right there, see? And guess what? Nobody will ever notice that. It's perfect. It will never come out. It's wonderful. Then these two need to be clipped in. You just look in, make sure you got them lined up. Once you get them lined up, you just pop them in. There you go. Okay. Take my rag and just give it a little quick wipe now. Clean up my work area. I've already thrown my garbage away. Gotta even wipe off the bumper. There you go. And then I'll start the car and show you that it works. Okay? Here's the keys. I'm going to set this phone down right here. Keep it coming on. Here we go. There's the phone stay. There's the headlight. Start the car. Actually, I could just turn the lights on, I guess. Okay, I just turned the lights on. Hey, it came on. Look at that. Yay. Nice and simple, right? I know this is a 30-minute video, but I tried to be detailed. So hope I was detailed enough, and please help me out, like I said, by sharing or subscribing to my channel. And I'm going to look for other more Trailblazer. If you have a Trailblazer, I'm going to be putting a whole lot more videos on how to do little things on them. So if you subscribe, you'll every once in a while just get a little. Well, you actually don't even have to have notifications. You just sign up, and that way, when you need a place to go to find how to do little things on Trailblazers, I'll be right there in your subscriptions. You can just go there anytime. All right, take care. See ya.